With streaming being on the rise in the last couple of years, some major players have been able to make a living streaming video games. I got the chance to sit down with one such individual, Gernader Jake, who made his fame on Twitch playing Destiny and Destiny 2. Now he's transitioned over to Fortnite. We got to ask him a couple questions concerning his success, as well as some advice for others. Let's see what he had to say.
My name's Gernader Jake on pretty much everything, and it's spelled weird. It's Gernader Jake. On everything: Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. It's the exact same because nobody's gonna take a name that doesn't make any sense, so we're good there. I've been a full-time streamer for 2.5 years. I mostly played Destiny. I gained about 175,000 follows through Destiny. And then I started switching it up to Fortnite in the last month or so because Destiny 2 has been a bit of a letdown. And I've gained about 10,000 follows through that over the last month or two. So full-time streamer, make YouTube videos as well. I've always just been interested in not only kind of showing off skill, but trying to have fun, trying to help others in the game, help others be entertained. And that's my goal. So it was a hobby. Simply, I was playing Destiny 1 and enjoying myself doing it. I've always been kind of gifted with the ability to be a good video game player. Hi, Kels. That's my wife, Kelsey. Anyway, I was playing a game and somebody messaged me and was like, "What's your stream?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "You're obviously way too good to not be streaming. Stop messing with me. Tell me your stream." And I was like, "Well, if people think I should stream, maybe I should look into it." So I Googled Twitch, figured out what it was, made an account. I was still in college. It was my senior year. And I was just streaming as a complete and total hobby with the intention of taking a year off afterwards to kind of just do whatever I needed to do in life. And it just kind of led into it. I started streaming more hours once I graduated and more viewers started showing up. I started acquiring more money, which made me realize I should invest more time into it. More viewers showed up, more money, and everything kind of started going in the path to, holy crap, maybe this isn't going to be just a hobby. Maybe I could actually do this as a full-time gig. So it kind of just worked itself out, starting as a hobby, something just for fun, and naturally building into something that I was making enough to consider it a job. It was 100% I enjoy it, so I'm going to play this. I legitimately only played Destiny 1 for the first 2 entire years that I streamed. It was the game I like to play, and I've always been somebody who gets into a game and stays with that game. There's a lot of people who like to play variety. They play a different game every week. They never really dedicate themselves to one, but I've always dedicated myself to one. So Destiny was the game that I enjoyed playing. A lot of other people did too. I'm really good at it, so a lot of people liked watching it. And then a tournament type thing called the Trials of Osiris came out, and that was a weekend based win 7 straight games and get cool rewards. And I was good enough to quote unquote carry people through those 7 straight victories so they could get the rewards too. So my stream naturally started turning into almost a service where, for the people watching, it was still fun and entertaining and they could see cool plays, but they also had a chance at winning a raffle, which would give them the opportunity to play and get those rewards. I would just basically win them the 7 games. They would get the rewards. So my stream kind of turned into that as a focal point for 2 years or so, just about. My stream kind of blew up to an extent. I averaged, about a year ago, I was averaging about 2,000 viewers at a time, which was pretty awesome. That would not have happened if I had been playing variety. Because I invested 100% into Destiny, my stream kind of took off. But with Destiny 2 failing a little bit, being not the game people were expecting, not being that much fun to watch or play, the channel's now kind of tanked a little bit. So, it's an interesting question because had I taken those risks 2 years ago and played a bunch of different games, there's a chance it never would have started to see that growth that it eventually did. But maybe had I been a variety streamer 2 years ago, then Destiny 2 failing wouldn't have actually affected my channel negatively. So that's a tough question to answer. I'm experimenting now a little bit with variety. We'll see what it does. But realistically, it could have been really good for my channel. It could have been really bad for it. There's no way to really know for sure. I kind of have a play it by ear mentality, realistically. Whatever seems to make sense at that time is what I'm going to do. Right now, not only am I enjoying Fortnite like crazy, but a lot of people are liking watching it and playing it. So investing my time in that seems like it could be a good thing for the channel and a good thing just for me mentally. But I think a really important key thing to take away is that a lot of people try to predict things on Twitch. And for my 2.5 years of going through serious roller coasters and launches of games and high points and low points on games, through my 2.5 years of doing that, I've learned that you cannot predict things. You can't. You just can't. I could blow up on Fortnite in the next week. I could turn into a streamer who has 5,000 people watching them. I could tank. I could have 100 watching that don't want to, nobody's interested anymore. Or I could stay where I am right now around 500 or so. You just don't know. You don't know. So if a cool game comes out and I start playing that and viewership goes up and my levels of fun go up, then I'll jump to that. It's just kind of whatever makes sense in that moment is what I do. And that's also how I began on Twitch. It made sense to try streaming. So I tried it. It grew. So it made sense to keep streaming. So I kept streaming. Whatever makes sense, whatever that next opportunity is that's in front of you, I take. Yeah. I mean, because the main portion of my followers and people who have found my channel found it through Destiny. Because of that, anything closer to Destiny is going to be easier for viewers to come back to. Going from Destiny to Fortnite, which is a completely different game, anybody interested in the genre of Destiny is not going to be interested in Fortnite. And that might be a reason that my channel's taken a bit of a hit. But yeah, games that are closer to what Destiny kind of provides give me a better chance at gaining back those viewers who aren't interested anymore because of Fortnite. More followers are there for a specific game, and I wish that wasn't my answer, because you'd rather have people that are there for you and your community. um I would say about a third of active viewers are there for me and for the community that my channel kind of presents. Like I was saying, I average about 500 viewers right now. While Trials of Osiris was still a thing, that tournament I was mentioning before, last summer, just like 3 months ago, when it was still a thing in Destiny 1 before Destiny 2 came out, I had about 1,500 viewers on average at that point. So I would say, 1,000 of those people are just wanting to watch me play Destiny. And the other 500 of those people are people who are committed to not only me, but the community in my channel. Yeah, I mean, it's realistically not too different than any other job. I put in about as many hours, if not a little bit more, than somebody would in a standard job. Um, but yeah, I don't really see it affecting home life too much. When I'm not streaming, I'm hanging out with her, or I'm exercising, or I'm doing whatever I need to do for myself, just kind of like somebody would in like an everyday job. It was a little bit weird at first, just trying to understand what I wanted my schedule to be. And originally, because I said that tournament was the thing on the weekends, it was Friday through Monday. I was doing like 10 to 12 hours on Fridays through Mondays, and then Tuesdays through Thursdays were my time off. That's where it got weird, because a standard work day or work week is Monday through Friday. I was going Friday through Monday. So that's the part that made things a little bit weird. But otherwise, hours wise, it's the same as another job, and we've made it work really well. No, it doesn't mean that at all. I don't play video games professionally. I broadcast professionally. It's a completely different job, man. Like, video games off stream are relaxing. Um, they are energizing. When I'm broadcasting, they are exhausting, and they're not quite the same. It's still fun. I love playing games on and off stream, but off stream gaming is really relaxing and really energizing. On stream, it feels like a job. Still a great job that I love, but it definitely feels like a job. Yeah, it was called Guardian Con, and kind of almost celebrity status there, which was pretty cool. But yeah, because we went, let's go back to the question we were talking about before, because I kind of established myself in a specific game, that game's community knows all about me and knows who I am, versus another game's community might not have a clue who the hell I am. Oh, definitely not at that level. I've had four, I think, times where outside of like a convention, I've had somebody do that. Like, in an airport was one of them. At Disney World was another one. Um, on the street, I was eating food outside of a restaurant and somebody passed and was like, "Yo, wait." So I think it's 4 times that somebody's recognized me while I'm not at a convention. But at the specific Destiny convention, that's where I was saying celebrity status kind of thing. That was the place where like you walk out and like a line forms to get autographs and pictures, which was like really weird but really cool at the same time. But it only happens there. Ah, this question's always a little bit awkward because I kind of tell people to hesitate a little bit. My main advice for somebody who wants to be like a successful Twitch streamer or a successful YouTuber is to not make that their goal. And the reason I say that is people who make their goal to succeed on Twitch and YouTube, they get frustrated when numbers don't reach their expectations. They get annoyed when, there aren't people there watching. When you make it the goal of just having fun and it being a hobby, then every extra viewer, every extra dollar, that's all just added stuff. That's just cool. It's something that you weren't expecting. But when you're like, okay, I'm going to make this my job. I need a minimum of $3,000 a month to support myself and my wife doing this. And then, there's 4 people watching and you made $200 last month. You're going to be really pissed off. You're going to be really upset. You're going to be mad you spent thousands of dollars on all this fancy equipment. You're going to be upset that you scheduled 40 to 50 hours a week to try to invest into this. You're going to be really annoyed. But if you continue to go to work every day like you normally do and just stream on your side hours to see if you like it, don't spend money on expensive equipment. And then maybe naturally people will start coming. And when people start coming to your channel, then maybe you buy a nice mic and maybe more people show up and maybe then you invest a few more hours and then maybe more people show up. I kind of give the I don't know, advice that that's what you need to be doing, is just treating it as a hobby, which is what I did. And if you're lucky and if you're dedicated and if you're good, maybe it will happen. But if you make it your goal, it likely won't, and you'll just be frustrated in the process. It's a good question. I've never really been somebody who's too involved and invested in cosmetics. The reason I ended up getting a logo and getting kind of a branding was just because of demand. I didn't do that until I was averaging over 1,000 viewers. I didn't have a logo until I had that. When my stream was its most successful that it's ever been was when I first got my logo. So I don't think that it actually is as important as people make it seem. I think that it's important on the super far back end. And what I mean by that is if you're successful enough that companies are coming to you for sponsorships and game developers are coming to you to pay you to play your game, then I think having a brand and a logo is important because it's kind of a step or a stamp of credibility. But as far as, viewership, gaining viewership, creating a loyal community, I really don't think branding is nearly as important as people think it is. Because, like I said, I didn't start doing any of that until my stream was at its most successful point. So I don't think it was very helpful. I really don't think it's as important as people expect it to be. The best thing is getting emails or messages from people who let me know why the stream is so helpful in their life, because it's not something that you consider really as a broadcaster. You're still, even if let's say there's 20,000 people watching you or 2,000 people watching you, it doesn't look different from this side. You're here playing the video games with all your equipment running. It's the same thing. But when you realize that number that says 1,500 on the screen is actually 1,500 people, and you realize that you are actually impacting those people, that's when it's really cool. I've gotten between 10 and 15 emails probably over the last year that are like in detail telling me why the stream has been so helpful for them in their lives, whether it's they're going through a rough time and it helps them kind of have some fun, or, they've just haven't been enjoying gaming anymore and they miss it and I've helped them find that love for it again. Whatever it is, getting those like personal emails that tell you like, hey, I watch you and it helps me and here's why, they kind of make you feel good and they make you realize what you're doing. Oh, those are always fun. I did an event. I'm a huge animal lover. I always have been. I did an event last April for my local humane society, the shelter, and we raised $40,000 in 3 days for our local shelter, which was awesome because they were like, I came in and asked them some questions beforehand. They're like, all right, some dude's going to try to raise the money via video games, maybe 100, maybe 300, like whatever. And all of a sudden, day one, we raised 20,000 and they're like, okay, so this might be something more serious. So they were astounded. And it was really cool to not only help all the animals like that, but see what the community can do and kind of what gaming can do. Gaming does some more positive things than people realize. Oh yeah, absolutely. Meeting them at the conventions helps too, but there were 3 or 4 people who I met through Twitch that were at our wedding of 100 people. So they made up, 4 or 5% of the people that were there. There's a ton of people that I consider friends who I met strictly through Twitch, both viewers and streamers. Yeah, it's a community of people that are 100% a part of my life. It's not just like I look at them as viewers or um, numbers. They're people, and they're people who I talk to on and off stream and see in real life a lot too.